Come check out the very first expansions for the Imperials in Star Wars Legion.
Spiking bits.
Welcome back, Hobby Maniacs. I'm Rob Baer, and today we are unboxing and building the very first two expansions for Star Wars Legion. Of course, there is the Scout Walker out there. We're going to save him for his own very special tutorial and probably paint him live over on Twitch, but going to be super fun. But for right now, we're going to take a look at the speeder bikes and the Stormtroopers. Dun dun dun. Both $24.95 kits from FFG. The Trooper box is pretty much standard. It's going to come with 7 minis. You're going to get your unit card, your upgrade cards, your tokens, your rule sheet, and exactly how to put them together with your instruction manual. And for the speeder bike here, you're going to get your 2 minis, your unit card, 3 upgrade cards, 9 assorted tokens, and 1 rule sheet. And these guys actually, this is one that comes in the starter, and this guy is a newer pose because there's one that comes in the starter that I'm about to show you with his holdout pistol. That's pretty neat. So I guess you can use him as your sergeant. So let's open up the Stormtrooper expansion and show you what comes in that. So you're gonna get all of your miniatures in little baggies right there. You're gonna get your instructions, your card, and your upgrade cards. Okay, so here they are. You're gonna get a card with 2 or 3 suppressions, an aim, or a standby, an aim, a dodge, and a panic, and then of course your order card right there so you can actually activate them. We'll take a look at the instructions here in a second, and I'm gonna get about 7 of these guys. Some of them are gonna be 2 parts, some of them not. But as far as the unit itself go, there's the upgrade card and some of the expansion cards right here. So they're gonna have precise, which is kind of interesting if you think about it. When you spend an aim token, reroll up to 1 additional die. They do roll only 1 white, which is the weaker of the shooting dice, but in hand-to-hand, they're still pretty good with 1 black. They're gonna roll a red for a save, I guess to represent their armor. Pretty decent. 1 health, 1 panic, 44 points for those, and no special abilities on the back of the card. As far as their upgrade goes, they also have grappling hooks, they also have the impact grenades. However, they have the rocket launcher and their version, the heavy blaster of the Gatler. It's I think that gun actually was based off the MG42, the German heavy machine gun, or maybe the 36, I forget. But because remember, the 70s, World War II was only 30 years in the past. Now, of course, it's way more than that, but gosh. So this upgrade here is going to shoot out to 4, same with the rocket launcher, range 4, but a minimum range of 2. You're going to shoot 2 reds, which is pretty interesting. Impact 1, so it's going to get those crits through on stuff with armor, and it's 24 points right there to equip him. Once, of course, you can add a Stormtrooper to your unit for 11, which is 1 point more than the Rebel. The rocket launcher is cumbersome, so you can't move and shoot it, but it does have impact 3, so it's definitely going to swing through, hopefully, some of those armors, and it's spitting 3 black dice, which is pretty good when it comes to shooting, at least. And the impact grenades going to, at range 1, going to have a black die for 5 points that are going to be able to get through on armor, hopefully changing the hit to a crit, because remember, if you have armor, you ignore all crits, and then grappling hooks are going to allow you to get over barricades and obstacles penalty free. As far as the miniatures go, well, they're pretty well detailed, hard plastic for the most part, not that wimpy kind of flexible stuff that we saw with Rune Wars. You can snap fit them just like we did right there, but you are going to want to glue them in place so that you can get in there and paint the details and scrape the mold lines off that are going to be here from the seams and such, and then just glue them down to your base. Now, we do have a basing tutorial if you're looking for the desert kind of look. We have that in all of our how to paint tutorials here on the channel. There's all of the miniatures that come in the kit. You're going to get the rocket launcher guy, you're going to get the heavy blaster guy, your sergeant, and 4 regular duders right there. Now, as far as painting them up, we have a couple here that are just base coated, just to give you an idea what you can do with some precise application of paint before wash and detail work there. You can see the sergeant in my right hand and the heavy blaster dude in the left. And then an example of what it'll look like all detailed out you've got this guy right here with a desert base, some tufts, some little detail work all over the miniature there. It definitely looks like he's been combing the desert for some time. But neither of these is wrong. You can play with a guy like this with a really nice base, would look just as good as the detailed out guy on the right, but next to each other you can definitely tell which one has a little bit more work put into it right there. Neither are wrong, both are right, and both will get you on the tabletop and have you looking way better than this poor guy right here. Help me! And speaking of help, next up is the speeder bikes, which are pretty interesting in game and definitely add a little something to kind of offset the Rebel Walker, so to speak. So you're going to get two of these models in the kit with your stands or bases, whichever you want to call them, and all the parts to put them together. Remember, there's an exclusive one in the exclusive model in the starter that isn't represented here, but we do have them to show you nonetheless. So you're going to get the cards, you're going to get your upgrade or your tokens here with a bunch of wounds. Also has the aim and dodge card right there, and then of course your order token going right there. Let's move some of these parts out of the way and take a look at these cards real quick. So overall, the speeder bike is 90 points, 2 to a squad. They're gonna have cover 1 always, which means no matter what, you're gonna get cover 1 unless something has blast or whatever, like with the flamethrower on the walker. Speeder 1 while moving in your terrain that is height 1 or lower, so technically the barricades that come in the starter box, but you don't really play with terrain rules for the demo. 3 health each, 1 white dice for their save. Their blaster cannon, which is fixed front, impact 1, is range 3 and has 1 of each shooting dice, but their holdout blaster, which is not fixed front because they're basically grabbing it off their ankle holster and shooting it in whichever direction, is still a pretty powerful range 2 with 2 black dice. I don't know why it's better than the Stormtrooper, but it is, so we don't ask questions. These guys also have impact 1 fixed front weapon. Oh, those are your weapon keywords for right here as well. Now, I was under the assumption that these, okay, so these guys have the compulsory move. So you always, when you activate, you always have to move. You always have to move, a compulsory move. So these guys can never set still. They always have to, you have to lock in the movement template and move them, which is kind of a little bit of a drawback because they are so good to just sit back and shoot with these blaster cannons. But alas, you cannot. You have to do a compulsory move. Check the rulebook that comes in the demo for more info on that one right there. But remember, movement is the only one you can do a double action of. So you can actually move 3 times with the speeder bike if you think about it. So, but if your sergeant goes off the board, they are dead. Comms jammer, 2 instances of that, and long-range comms link as well during command phase. You can issue orders as though you're in range of your nominated commander, because remember your range is 3, so these guys might easily get out of range. And enemy units at range 1 cannot be issued orders unless they are issuing an order to themselves. So if they get within range 1, which remember is about 6 inches on the range template, then you could jam up your opponent's plans a little bit. So that's kind of cool. Now, putting these guys together isn't that much of a pain. You are going to have to precisely apply some glue here. Now, this particular piece right here, this little turbine piece right here, everything else is pretty straightforward. The tab on the back here, these foot pads, actually rests in one of these sockets when you're putting it together. You just kind of have to dry fit the rider on the top. I think it's that one right there, that little notch. But just dry fit your rider on top to make sure you're getting it right. And then this turbine's a little notoriously fiddly. So this actually locks in right here and goes in this area. It's very hard to see on the instructions, but that's where it goes. So don't mess that one up. And everything else is pretty self-explanatory. These guys are going to have their arms locked in and the position like this with their, I don't know, handlebars or whatever you want to call it, maneuvering thruster kind of things. Now we have one of these, and this is the alternate version that only, I guess, comes with the starter set. This has been not detailed out, just base coated. We haven't even started working on the bike itself yet, but just giving you an idea of how they can look once you get a little bit of paint on it. We will have a tutorial on how to paint the speeder bike, probably coming out a little bit later than the big premiere content dump that we're doing right now, but look for that one very shortly. But the bases are all done the same as everybody else out there, like all the Stormtroopers and everything like that. And I almost forgot to mention the coolest thing, notwithstanding the fact that everybody has a Star Wars miniature in their hand for the tabletop, that folks seem to say about the new FFG miniatures is the little tray that some of these kits come with, and of course the starter set comes with it as well. So everybody seems really stoked on this, and it is a great way until you get some protective foam and things to put the vehicles and such into to keep them protected. So that's it. I hope you enjoyed our first look, unboxing, and build of the brand new Star Wars Legion Wave 1 expansions for the Imperials. Now we do have some other painting tutorials and things here on the channel on how to paint Stormtroopers. Soon we will have the speeder one up, hopefully Vader, hopefully Luke, and we'll be painting the Scout Walker live over on our Twitch channel as soon as you start seeing most of this content. So if you like these sort of features, make sure you subscribe to us, turn on notifications so you can be the very first to like and comment on all these videos.
Deleted scenes, bonus content, and all the interviews and post-game wrap-up videos can be located in the Hall of Veterans on thelongwar.net. Visit thelongwar.net today and try a week completely free with no strings attached. That's not all. Thelongwar.net is also your hobby resource for exclusive early access with an ad-free experience to all your favorite videos. Members of the Hall of Veterans gain early exclusive access to multiple hobby videos.